My name is Ranju. I am 60-year-old. I am Gujarati. I have two brothers and 5 sisters. I am the eldest. I'm married with 3 children. One of my daughters married. I have my own business. I've been in this country for 40 years. I quite enjoy here. I had a good life in London. Grew up in Kenya. I studied in Kenya up to the age of 11. Then went to India, did my high school in India, did my college in India as well, and then eventually came to England. When I was 11, my father wasn't well, so they all went to India, and I stayed back in Kenya with my mama. My father had a heart problem, so he went to India, but it was a very difficult time for him. The reason he had gone back was because his brothers had promised him to look after him and his family, and it didn't happen.
Why did it?
Because they just didn't want to know my father. They just didn't want to know us. My father had to restart all over again. But Mum was quite young with 7 kids. She hadn't seen any happy days when it was her time to enjoy as well. But unfortunately, because of the father's health, she had to sort of help him run the house as well. Seeing the family situation, like my father was ill and how his brothers treated him, made me very angry.
Why did you have to stay back?
Because I was studying, that year was very important for any child, and I did very well, but because I was missing my parents so much, I wanted to go back to India. Where we were in a village at that time.
Whereabouts was your village?
In near Jamnagar.
Which is?
Sorasla. I think it was a bit shocking for me. What you see in the films is so different, but when you see in the reality, like there were no toilets at that time. Sometimes the lights used to go off, and it was just shocking. In India, I studied for 1 year in a Gujarati school. I found it very difficult, especially history, geography. We couldn't understand. The other people used to make fun of me because I used to my English was different, my Gujarati was a bit different. So it was really tough. Then I went to a boarding school.
How did you feel about going to the boarding school?
In boarding school, I had lots of friends, and we became very close. I used to take part in sports, dancing.
That was your father's decision?
Yeah, my father's decision, because he wanted me to study. He wanted me to do something really good in life. I wanted to go to Bombay.
You were how old? 16?
I was 17, I think. 17, 18. I went with my friend. Then we were looking for jobs as well. Joined a college. And then found a part-time job. I used to work for a dentist. Worked there for a year. And then paid towards my fees and all that. I quite liked it. It was a bigger city, obviously. So it was more like Nairobi. I think my father was very supportive, more than a mother. I used to live in a hostel, which is Oshwal Center. So I met quite a lot of people then. And I think that made me more confident. I always studied about London when I was little. I always wanted to come to London. So that was my dream. When I arrived here, it was raining. It was horrible. It was very foggy and really, horrible day. But I was still happy that I was in England. But then here, I had another family, my uncle and auntie. Because to me, they were my family as well. So I stayed with them for 1 year.
And you weren't married at this point?
No. The neighbors were all English. There were hardly any Asians around at the time. My cousin took me around to job centers. I got a job straight away within a week. Woolwich Building Society. Then I decided to move out because I thought I should actually live on my own. That's when I came to Kingston. I was a tenant in somebody's house in one bedroom. I changed my job as well. Found a job in London City.
And
Yes.
how did you find the city?
Oh, I loved it. I don't know, it was just a different world altogether, you know, it was a city. So even when I had a job in London, to earn more money, I used to do an evening job in a wine factory. Because I don't drink, it used to smell like anything, but then it was a job, so I used to come from London 6 o'clock and then go straight to the factory to work up to 10 o'clock. I met my husband through my friends, but I was like scared that my parents will not accept
Why would they not accept?
Because it's a different caste. You see, in those days, people were very strict. You cannot go marry anybody out of caste. If you are a Shah, you marry a Shah. If you are a Patel, you marry a Patel. So things were very different in those days.
Did you meet his family at any point?
I did meet them once, yeah. His father would not accept me.
Why would he not?
Because same thing, same problem, different caste. But my auntie was very upset with me because when she found out I was married to a different caste, she just disowned me. Sometimes meet in the functions and things like that, but there was no close relation how it was before. It was a chance. But then it's with any marriage, isn't it? My husband is more educated, and maybe that's why I was thinking it might not be difficult. And it hasn't been difficult. I think we both sort of compromise in many ways. Even he wanted to always go abroad. So I think it was probably, thinking was same. We just started like, both were working, started saving money. And then we bought our first house within a year, which was a very good achievement. Social life, we made friends. So we used to have like every other Saturday, we used to go to different people's houses. We used to have parties, you know. So it became really good.
Had your marriage not worked out?
It would be a different situation altogether, because then you would be pointed at, oh, see, we told you it doesn't work. I think some of the cultural things will never change. After 1 year, I had a baby. It was difficult to live on one person's salary. After 6 months, I had to go back to my old job full time in London. So unfortunately, I had to leave my baby with the baby minder. It's really heartbreaking, very heartbreaking to leave your child with somebody. I had no choice. And we wanted to do good for the child as well. We wanted the best things for the child. So this was the only way to do it. When my daughter was 2 years old, my family came. My mum, dad, and my brothers and sister, they came here. They stayed with us for 1 year.
Everybody in one house?
Yes. Then after 1 year, they moved out, and I had a second child. Then I had to change jobs because it was becoming very difficult traveling to London. So started working in a newsagent, part-time. So I had to leave a second one with my mom.
Yeah.
First one was going to school, so she had to still be picked up by the baby minder.
What was your family's reaction to you having sent your child to a childminder to them? It must be quite...
I think they were like shocked at the time. Probably they didn't understand that the life in this country is different. And not having any other relatives, who's going to look after your child. Sorry, after that I had a third child.
Daughter?
Another daughter. And then things became a bit difficult because my mom could only look after one child.
Why is that?
And because my father wasn't keeping well either, so she could not do both the children. I used to do the shop from the morning 6 to 1. Then 1 o'clock I used to come home again with the baby, do the housework, cooking. Then 4 o'clock again I used to go back to the shop. Then 6 o'clock I used to come home. And then I had both the children with me because the middle one was with my mom. I close my eyes and I think, oh my God, how did I do that?
1 year after your mother-in-law died,
Yeah.
something happened in July.
Yes. I lost my dad. We never thought that he'll just go like that, because we still needed him. And no matter how old you are, whether you become a mother, whatever, but you can never replace your parents. They couldn't do anything.
What was it like being a mum to a teenager?
I think we had some big arguments. And then me being Indian, maybe, I want my way. I think it does become a bit difficult.
In the Indian community and in many ethnic minority groups, sex is a very taboo subject. What do you think was probably the most difficult thing to really express with your children at that age? The subject of boyfriends, do you think, did you find that?
Yeah, boyfriends, yes. I mean, like, I used to tell them, like, okay, boys, you can have friends.
Some of them did start becoming boyfriends. What was your biggest fear, do you think?
A child should be able to go and talk to the mother. Okay, look, can I ask you something? Can I ask your advice? We could never do that. There was a fear that, if we ask, she might get angry. And I learned that it's better to be frank, open, right? Rather than she would go somewhere else. I think even my mother has become like that. I think mom has learned that things have changed. So she's become very open-minded as well. I can go and discuss anything with her. But I really wish she was like that before.
What does preservation of a culture mean to you? To preserve one's culture?
I think it's very important. I can keep my culture, right? And I can also adopt the Western ways as well. Okay, we are Hindus, so we celebrate Diwali. But then you are in England, people celebrate Christmas. And when your children are going to school, right, they see other children celebrating Christmas. So they should be part of it as well. They should learn about the other cultures. Started with this news agent. Then slowly and slowly I bought a post office.
How much support did you get?
I got a lot of support from my mom. She was the one who used to push me and say, look, don't worry about the children. Like, she would pick them up from school, drop them, sometimes feed them at her own house and then bring them back.
What was your husband's attitude to you being the businesswoman?
I think he's been very good, but he's always admired me and always supported me. So without his support, I probably would not be able to do anything.
My name is Sehmi. Lived here in this country since 76. We wanted a better future for our children, and that kept us working, and that was it.
I always wanted to have my own business, and I always wanted to come up in life. So when I bought the business, it was like I started from scratch, and I had to work hard. So I used to come early morning, no matter how many hours I had to put in. So I used to come in, like start from 7 o'clock, and it doesn't matter how hard it was, I just did it. To run the business, sometimes like you do avoid your home sometimes, like, you go home, you're so tired, and you have to feed the family as well. So it was a bit difficult, but I think I managed with my children's help, my husband's support.
मेरा नाम अब्द सईद है. मैं इस कंट्री में आया था 1997 में. फिर इस शॉप पे आया था 90 कंकोर्ड ड्राई क्लीन 1998 में. जैसे 2-4 साल के बाद वी नो ईच अदर, फिर वो फैमिली के साथ भी क्लोज रिलेशनशिप होगी. वो हिंदू थे और मैं मुस्लिम था फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान. तो मेरी बॉस ने मेरी शादी लुक फॉर मी पाकिस्तानी लड़की के साथ तो हुआ 1-2 जगह पे कि वो आप तुम्हारी फैमिली कहाँ हैं, ये हिंदू हैं. तो लेकिन
आपने क्या बोला?
मैंने यही बोला था दैट्स माय फैमिली.
कुछ साल बाद यहाँ पे एक हादसा हुआ था आपके साथ।
मैं अकेला खड़ा था दैट डे, मेरी बॉस भी नहीं थी इधर। क्लोजिंग टाइम पे 2 पीपल आए, इन फ्यू सेकंड उन्होंने ब्लेड मारे
कहाँ पे डाली थी?
फेस पे और हाथ पे और बैक पे। मुझे शौक लगा कि ये क्या हो गया है। फिर लाइफ थोड़ी हार्ड हुई, लेकिन आई हैव टू कैरी ऑन।
You know, by and large, it's quite a nice community. Although matey wouldn't tell you that because, you know, he was cut. I think I was one of the first white people to come in and ask him how he was after he'd had the accident. I think anything like that happens actually brings the community close.
9 times out of 10, you do know everybody, but you do get different walks of life, and you are going to come across a bad walk of life now and again. But I think where it's such a close community, we're better equipped to deal with it. I think the fact that everybody knows everyone makes it easier, because if you were one lone business on their own, you've got no one fighting your corner.
Well, I came here in 69. We've been married since
Same as me.
76.
76.
We've met at the
Yeah, the
baby
baby
minders
minders.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You brought Mitul and said you used to go.
That's
Mm,
right.
the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah. I think we saw the children grow up
Yeah,
together,
as well.
and we had common interest in taking the kids out and take them to like play school and things like that. And we met quite often, and the friendship started.
Because we were in problems in the 89, we needed quite a lot of support. You know, supposing your business has been just shut down, just like that, and it was like a nightmare.
Yeah.
As you know yourself as well.
That's right. Yeah, I know. It's
Is
really
that what you
hard.
think brought you together? Your
I think it
sibling?
did, yeah.
More stronger, yeah,
Mm.
more stronger. I mean, we were together, but it made
More
it
stronger.
stronger.
Because we went through the same phases as
Yeah.
well. Family, the relatives, they'll probably say, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that."
Yeah.
It's simple as that. They don't see why we
It's
did
always a
or why we
negativeness.
didn't do it. But you shouldn't have done that. It's your fault, things like that. Even
Yeah.
now, if you ask them something, you got to be careful what you ask. It's better to talk to somebody else
Yeah.
who can give you a better opinion and help you out, really.
I'm Nitin Shah. I'm Ranju's brother, and I live in this country since 1981. I have a family with 2 grown-up boys, and I'm just enjoying my life in this country.
What part do you think both your mother and your older sister have played in terms of not just the community, the Indian community, but also outside of that?
Were quite lively. They not just get on with their own family, but they get on with everybody outside as well, with the community and every person. So they have got bubbly nature, and they're always there with, no matter what happens. So
You and your sister done like arts stuff together, right?
arts.
Plays.
Oh yes, yeah. We have recently taken part in a drama called Meera, and we really enjoyed that. We had about 14 shows, and it was fantastic.
What does being a British Indian woman mean to you?
Being in Western countries, I have learned quite a lot about being independent. You can stand on your own feet. You don't have to depend on anybody. That sort of things it happens in Western countries. I mean, I know India has changed now, but
But for you then,
for you, yeah, I have learned a lot of things.
what about the Indian aspect of it?
I'm proud of it. Just proud to be an Indian.
And do you feel that community has grown around you?
Yes. Yeah. End of the day, you all go to your own houses. You mind your own business. You got no.
If you work and
Yeah, everybody works, or you only get together when there are functions. Like cultural programs and things like that. And then after that, you leave.
you're a wife, you're a mum, and now you're a mother-in-law. How do you remain grounded, and how do you create your own identity here? And play all of these roles.
Yeah, I think because I enjoy it. I enjoy being sort of working. I like to make friends. I like to help people, and I think that's why maybe I'm still what I am.
Where do you think that comes from?
My mother, definitely. It's the best person of my life.